Hello, everyone, and welcome to the podcast Young Blonde Suburban. I'm your host, Kaitlin Files. I'm a young, white, female-identifying lawyer who lives in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, outside of Philly. This podcast runs as a sister show to Young Black Suburban, hosted by Tim Witherspoon Jr. The Young Suburban podcast hosts guests to engage in conversation about their different life journeys and perspectives. My show, Young Blonde, has a special focus on badass babes out there doing the damn thing. So welcome and thank you for tuning in. Let's jump into today's episode. All right, so we are back for another episode of Young Blonde Suburban. I have Paula Fasciano here. Thank you so much for being with me today.
Thank you for having me, Katie.
So I found you on Instagram and your company, which is Bakeability. Are you the owner of the bakery?
I am. I'm the owner of Bakeability, yes.
Okay, so I don't know how I found you guys. I think I was just searching local Bucks County Instagram accounts, and you guys are pretty active on there.
Yes.
And your mission is amazing. I absolutely love it. So why don't you tell us a little bit about Bakeability?
Sure. So Bakeability came to be because I met some mom. I moved back. I grew up in Bucks County. I moved back in 2018. My older son, Matthew, who has Fragile X syndrome, was aging out of the high school process and we moved here, and he had nothing to do because it takes time to get a waiver, to get services as an adult with developmental disabilities. So fortunately, my younger son with Fragile X syndrome was starting CB West as a 10th grader that same year. And I met these wonderful moms who had children like mine. And we would get together. We would get the kids together to do things socially with them because it's hard. Mm-hmm. And we started to talk about what life looked like after age 21. And I already had someone over age 21, but not all of them did. And so we started to talk about how hard it was to get a waiver, to find them employment, because it's just, you can't just go apply for a job when you have a kid with, it's hard.
Right.
So we started talking about what could we do? And our original thought was to create a staffing firm and kind of buy a vehicle, invest in a vehicle, because none of our children drive. And we were going to go to merchants in Doylestown and say, listen, we have these able-bodied pool of applicants. Could you use seasonal help, temporary help, that kind of thing? Mm-hmm. And during that time, one of the moms who was a baker by trade heard of a bakery that was for sale in Buckingham Green Shopping Center. And the light bulb went off in my head and I said, I have seen this done before. We would not be the first and we would not be the last, but this is a great opportunity. It's a model that's easy to make work with adults with developmental disabilities. So I went to see it. The moon and the stars aligned. The price was right. I was able to purchase it outright because I work a lot of different jobs. And one of my jobs is I'm a health coach on the side. I work in corporate insurance also. But my health coaching practice had given me the opportunity to put a little nest egg away. And since I didn't have children that were going to college or getting married, I had this little nest egg. And I thought, what better to invest in them and give their peers an opportunity to have employment. So I invested in the bakery. And that's how it came to be.
That's so amazing. It's such a cool story. And you know what? You never really think, because you hear a lot about parents advocating for the students when they're in school. They need more programs, they need more support, they need more help. But there's that whole then, okay, well, once they graduate, what's going on after? So it's really cool that you are providing that. Now, does everyone who works at the bakery, do they have some sort of disability?
Yes.
Okay. And
all of our employees are disabled. We have some neurotypical volunteers that come help us. Again, people who have found us and through our mission are just like, can I come and volunteer? Mm-hmm. So we have some volunteers. We don't have volunteers for every shift. So sometimes parents come with their children. Okay. Ideally, we'd like to move away from that model because the idea is to not be with your children when they're working.
Right, to be independent adults, who can be at their job and have a supportive job. Now, you said both of your sons have what syndrome?
It's called Fragile X syndrome. It's literally the X chromosome. If you look at it under a microscope, it looks fragile. It looks like a little piece is hanging. It's going to come off. So what happens is it doesn't make a protein that you need for brain development. So it's genetic. I have two X's as a woman, so do you. I unfortunately passed my fragile one on to both of my children, although my other one that is not fragile compensates for the fragile one. So I'm a carrier. I'm not affected by it. My boys, unfortunately, who have a Y with their X, it affects them. And even people are like, well, what's it like? Is it like autism? And I was like, it's not really like autism. It's more like Down syndrome in that there's intellectual disability. It just doesn't have the look of Down syndrome.
Okay. All right. I gotcha. And they both attended. Now you said you grew up in Bucks County. Where'd you grow up in
I did. I grew up in Warminster.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And I went to the Mount in Flowertown.
Okay. I was going to ask her where you went. I went to Village O. So.
Okay. I almost went to Village O. Yeah. I went to the Mount. And then after I graduated from college, I went to Dickinson. I moved to New York and I met my husband, and I would live there for many years and then moved back in the area. I wanted to come home.
And you said, I heard you say that your children went to CB. So you're in Doylestown, Warminster area, I'm assuming.
I live right outside of Doylestown. My younger son, Benjamin, just graduated from CB West in June. And now he's part of their TOPS program, which is their 18 to 21, kind of prepping them to be out in the workforce.
Okay.
And they are some of the TOPS kids come to my bakery certain days of the week, and they do some volunteer work in the bakery through the school district too.
Now that's great. Now I know the CB West and CB East, the Central Bucks in general, is a good school district. Mm-hmm. Does every school district have that kind of support? I've never heard of that before, to be honest.
I mean, in theory, every school district should, because the law says if you have a disability through 21, you can stay. And after 18, after 12 years of school, maybe we could teach you some skills that you can apply in the real world. So in theory, every district should. I don't know that every district does.
Right. And Bucks County is known for having a lot of great school districts, but I've never heard of that program anywhere.
The TOPS program. Yeah, it's pretty remarkable. They do a lot of great things.
And it's from 18 to 21. So once they age out of school, it's like a 3-year program to help them transition to adulthood.
Exactly.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Every school district should have that.
That's right.
Did that impact, and this is such a personal question, I'm sorry, but did that impact where you were going to move?
Absolutely. So I grew up in Warminster, which is Centennial, and I really didn't know that much about it, but some of my friends from high school who had stayed in the area and never moved out of state said, you either want to be in Central Bucks or Council Rock or one of those where they have strong programs for intellectually disabled children.
Yeah. And it's actually just something you think about when you think about people in different socioeconomic classes. There are children with disabilities in all different school districts, and some school districts don't offer that. It's tough to hear that. But I'm glad your sons are, in that program. Yeah. So you're an awesome mom, because you are just, wow, you are crushing it. Also, I can see your sign behind you. I love it. I have a poster of that also in my house. I absolutely love that saying, but you can tell that you're that type of woman. And it's, be the woman that what it says, when your feet hit the floor each morning, the competition or someone says,
the devil says, oh no, crap, she's up.
Yes. I love that. I think that's great. So what were you doing in the New York world before you moved back down to Bucks County?
I worked for many years for a company called Marsh & McLennan. They're one of the world's largest insurance brokers. And then I stayed home for a few years when my boys were little, but then a gentleman I worked for at Marsh went and started his own insurance brokerage firm, and I've been working for him since 2008.
Okay.
And when I moved, I was kind of like, well, I'm going to hang up this insurance hat. And he was like, no. You'll just take your stuff with you and you'll sit in your house in Bucks County and you'll continue to work. So here I am.
So you were doing the virtual work from home way before it was cool and COVID. Okay.
Yeah. So my colleagues were all like, in March of 2020, like, what do we do? I'm like, oh, here's where you find this. Here's how you do that. Yeah. Yeah. So I was doing it before it was cool.
Okay. You were doing it before it was cool. You made it cool. And then you're obviously a mom to your 2 sons.
Yep.
And this bakery. I mean, the bakery. I love it. When did it open?
We opened right after Valentine's Day, like a couple of days after Valentine's Day. And so,
2021?
Yeah.
Okay. You were
pandemic.
Okay. Good for you.
We can make it work then. We can make it work right. So,
yeah, absolutely.
It's been, we're only open 7 months. It's been a learning experience. Initially, we're the feel good story. So we were very busy initially. And then we went through the summer where everybody in Bucks County has a house at the shore. So no one's coming into the bakery during the summer.
Yep.
But we took the time to close for a couple of weeks so that everybody could have some time off. And now we're back after school. With school in session, business is much better. And now we're starting to see the benefit of putting out a good product that we can make with our employees and having return customers come in. We're also seeing people who want to collaborate with us. There's a wonderful woman, Janelle Morgan, who runs the Monkey's Uncle in Doylestown, which is that store that sells all the cool sporting goods stuff. She has a son on the spectrum also. So she does a lot. Like she comes in and she buys our goods and she sells them and she doesn't sell them. She buys them and she gives them out to her customers in the Monkey's Uncle. So we're starting to collaborate with other people locally to try to get the mission out more widely.
It's just great. It's so nice to see. And it's really smart to close in the summer because I feel like a lot of businesses try to push through that. Like Bucks County, no one is around. Everyone is at the Jersey Shore. Everyone is down. Even if it's a day trip, they're not that. No one's around. It's totally dead in the summer.
That's right.
It's like smart to not try to push through that because what's the point, really?
Yeah. And the woman who I purchased the bakery from has become a friend of mine. And she said to me, when last time I spoke with her was a few weeks ago, I was thinking like, oh my God, this thing with the summer, like, she's like, oh no, it'll pick up. She's like, oh, but do yourself a favor. She's like, everybody's going to make a New Year's resolution to not eat sweets. So go on vacation from the 1st to the 15th of January. And then after Martin Luther King, they'll be back. And I was like,
that is so smart.
That's very smart.
Because that's true. I mean, like how many people do that? But then as soon as they break it, it's like full force back.
That's right. She's like, by Valentine's Day, you'll be able to line out the door again.
Right. It's got to be great over, because I know what Thanksgiving, Christmas, whenever I'm going to events, I'm looking to buy stuff to bring. So it's got to be great over the holidays and whatnot.
Yeah. We're doing a Halloween box that we've offered, that we've gotten a bunch of responses for already. And we're also starting to do platters. So like, we sell this brownie, which is enormous and it has icing and it's a marble brownie. And so now we're starting to say, okay, so let's divide the brownie into a couple pieces and we could put it on a tray. So we'll make a tray and it'll have our brownie, our magic ability bar, our lemon bar, our peanut butter bar. And we're getting a lot of business that way because people are like, oh, that's perfect. That way I could take something, you'll arrange it, and everybody will get to try a little bit of everything.
It'll be nice, especially for like offices and things like that, to bring that in and like, this is where it came from. Yep. So tell me a little bit about the bakery because, well, do you have any baking experience besides like, I got to make cupcakes for school or anything like that?
No, I had none. I will say I'm a very good cook, but cooking and baking are very different things. Cooking is a feeling.
Yes. Baking is like
can you follow a recipe?
Yes.
And it's very precise and precision oriented.
Yeah,
so,
like one extra turn and you've messed up the batter.
That's exactly right. So we've all learned a great deal. And we have some employees who have a real aptitude for baking. And so it's great I'm learning with them. Like, is that cup level? No, because the cup has to be level.
Yes.
Because not enough flour or too much flour. And if you're right, then the
a little too much salt. It's perfect. You have to be perfect on it.
Yes. So, and again, like we are simple. We don't make 1,000 things. We have a solid like 15 things in rotation, and we just try to perfect and do those things better and better. And so
I think that's a good bakery though. When you have like a solid, like, oh, you have to go there and try their this, and this, because that's what they excel at. That I think that's a good way to go. I think that's a good business.
Right. And the health coach part of me we make an egg white muffin, which is, Coach Paula approved. We sell that also. And we sell some other savory things. We just started to do like these bagel bites, which taste like an everything bagel with cream cheese. It's
my gosh.
Little bites. They're delicious. And we sell some breakfast pizza because that kind of reminds me of childhood trips I used to take to Italy, where they eat like pizza for breakfast, but not pizza like.
Not the kind of pizza that we're serving here. But
No.
Well, that's great. So how many employees do you guys have now?
I think we're up to 17 employees.
Okay. And how many are working at a time? Like 3 to 4 at a time? I'm assuming not.
It's usually 2 to 3 at a time.
Okay.
Because don't forget, they have to come, they're either coming with their parents or their support person, or, when we have a volunteer, they can work with the volunteer.
Okay.
And also because, as moms, we're so used to having these kids so overscheduled, therapies, events, to this, that, and the other. So believe it or not, a lot of my employees have a lot of other stuff going on. Like my older son works a job at Penn Engineering. So he works on weekends with me in the bakery. My other son, Benjamin, is still in the TOPS program. So he's only there on weekends. So some of them have other things going on. So we try to make sure that at least everybody has 1 to 2 shifts during the week.
I got
so that everybody gets a chance to work.
And does everyone come in is there always a one-on-one? Like, or if there's 3 employees on, are there 3 support staff there to help?
Right now, yes. We're
Okay.
hoping, we're working with a local nonprofit called the Next Steps
I've heard of
TNS
it.
programs. Yeah, they're wonderful. We're working with them to try to make it more so that we can either bring in a job coach. If we get to a point where we can hire a job coach, we will do that and let that way parents could just drop off their adult children, or try to make it so that they can be more independent in the near future.
I got
But
you.
we're still so new and we're still learning. And so as of right now, parents are still coming with their children.
Now you said that you're a health coach.
Yep.
Is that your own like separate business that you started?
Yes.
And run? Okay. So you're used to
Yes.
opening a business and running
Yes.
it. What is the difference between opening a health coach between a bakery? Tell me about the journey.
First of all, how many health coaches open a bakery? It just seems like it's an
when you said you're a
oxymoron.
health coach, I was like, whoa, all right. I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
I lost a lot of weight about 3.5 years ago, and the program changed my life. And so now I try to help other people do the program.
Okay.
But it's very similar in the sense that it takes some discipline. It takes, not everything's going to go your way. There's a lot of rejection. You build resiliency and perseverance and a thick skin. And those are the kind of things you need no matter what kind of business you open and start running.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, especially opening in the middle of COVID.
Yeah.
I mean, it almost forces you to be resourceful and smart though about what you're doing instead of just wasteful and, everything's going to be gravy. Everything's going to be great. It's more like, no, we have to figure out what we're doing here and not make dumb decisions.
Right.
It's a tough time.
Right. And we're not we're a takeout facility. So I think that's better because I think if we had a sit down where people I think that's a whole other level of added stress for our employees. So this way people come in, they get what they get. It's routine. They come in, they buy something, they pay for it, they leave. It's not like, what do I got to do next? What do I got to do?
Right. And like the added disasters that can come if someone's sitting there's a big spill, a child screaming, something like that could add chaos to the routine.
Exactly right.
That's great. Because I would think when I saw that it was bakery, I was like, oh my gosh, how are they doing this? Because bakeries are tough to run just in general. So it's really impressive that you are pulling it off, to be honest.
And I think you have to go into it knowing you're not going to be all things to all people. You're not going to come to Bakeability for your wedding cake. We're no Martha Stewart. You know what I mean? And we get a lot of people who come in and we're like, you make cakes? No. And they're like, and then they turn around and leave. I'm like, thanks for visiting.
Yeah. Wow. Yikes.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Do you have Danishes? No, I have 15 things. Not one of them is a Danish. Maybe you'd like a breakfast scone or something like that. They're like, no, I want a Danish. And I'm like, I'm so sorry, I don't have a Danish.
I was impressed because I was going through the Instagram and I would, you'll post videos of what's up and everything. Mm-hmm. I was impressed with the amount that you guys are making because if you're a baker, you know how hard it is to bake just one thing. I mean, the amount of time, the amount of attention, everything. So I saw something you guys made. I was floored because I was like, I can't handle that. That's an aggressive bake. I forget what it was. It was some type of pastry thing. And I know pastries are hard.
Pastries are hard. But you know what? For example, we do our iced cookies all have this tie-dye royal icing. Mm-hmm. Why? Because we mix the 3 colors in the dish. The kids dip the cookie and they take it out and it dries. No 2 are the same. So it's kind of like in the theme of our employees, right? No 2 are the same. And it's kind of like our signature thing. So now we're starting to do tie-dye pumpkins for the fall and leaves and things like that. So you have to learn what you can and what you cannot do.
And it's nice. I would think that your bakery tastes very home. It would taste like you're eating a homemade cookie. So I would actually like to go there because sometimes you go into these bakeries and it's very commercialized. I mean, I'm not going to name some of the
I know what you mean.
Well-known bakeries, but there's a couple in Philadelphia I've gone into and I've eaten them and I'm like, this looks beautiful, but it tastes like it's a commercialized cookie. It doesn't taste like my mom made it and I want to eat my cookie.
Right. And that's the thing. And we, you have to commit to how many can we really make before we, when we sell out of the egg white muffins, which we make fresh in the morning, that's it for the day. Cause I'll make 12 and then if they're gone, they're gone. Same thing with the, you have to know what you can and you cannot do.
And you guys are you said are you in Doylestown or Warminster?
We're in Buckingham.
You're in Buckingham.
We're in the Buckingham Green Shopping Center. It's that shopping center right on York Road that has the big horse in the front.
And how do you find your employees?
Oh, I have a wait list,
I'm
Katie, because us moms, this warrior mom network is, we all band together and once as people heard of it, they're like, can my kid work there? Can my kid work there? Can my kid work there? So we have quite a wait list. The beauty of that is that we lost some people like who moved away, who's doing other things. So we've been able to work down our wait list, and that's nice because now we've just hired 3 new employees that have started, and we have a couple of new volunteers. So hopefully as we gear up for the holiday season, we'll be well staffed and everything like that.
It's just so great because I love how it's just, those are your employees. It's not like, oh, we have one spot here. It's everyone. Everyone is disabled. And it's just so, I love whenever you guys post on Instagram. It's like a feel good. I'm like, oh, what are they doing today? I want to see what's going on.
Yeah. And my Instagram is run by a woman. Her name is Victoria. I've only met her once. She is a millennial who is friends with one of my husband's kids' friends and saw us at this event we were at together. And she reached out. She was like, if you need somebody, I love what you're doing. And I was like, oh, bless your heart. Here you go. Yes. Here's the password and the login. She does all that. And she makes it look so beautiful with the colors and the logo
and she engages the employees during it. She talks to them and she's like, what do we have here? And you're like, this is so awesome. Like, it's just a nice little community.
I try to make sure I capture, like when we're doing something new, I send her a picture. Here's what we're doing. Mm-hmm. And I also help us spread the word. We've been at the Warrington Farmers Market all summer.
Ask you, have you been doing events? Have you been out there doing that type of stuff?
Yes, we're doing the Warrington Farmers Market. We're doing something at St. Jude's, which is in Chalfont, in a couple of weeks, like a craft fair. We're starting to go out on the road with our things. And again, like we bring like 3 or 4 different things. And a lot of times at the farmer's market, we sell out like an hour before the market ends, but that's fine. It is what it is.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, if anything, you'd rather sell out than not sell anything.
Right. Exactly.
Did the employees get very excited with those type of events and selling out and being
They love it. They go to the farmer's market. They love it. They've all learned that after somebody pays for their goods, we tell them, thank you and have a delicious day. So that's the motto when you come into my bakery. Have a delicious day.
Is there a specific type is it all neurocognitive of the employees that are there essentially?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. All right. And is there an age? Is it, the 21 to 30 or is it anyone?
No, I think it's over 16.
Over 16. Okay. Mm-hmm. So are they mainly young adults that are there?
Yes, they're all young adults. No, there's a middle-aged, there's a woman who is middle-aged, is an aunt to another one of my employees who has Down syndrome. And she has some issues herself and she's an employee. So yeah, I mean, we're not going to discriminate against you.
No, absolutely. That is definitely not what that bakery is there for.
No.
Is there any other business around that operates like you guys? I mean, you guys are just so, I don't know, you're just so inclusive. I haven't seen anything like this in Bucks County.
No, I haven't either. But, and this is our first business. We're already thinking about our next business, which will not be a bakery, but it will be an ability-centered business where we can employ people like our children.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think, and I hopefully after 2 or 3 businesses where ability is in the title, people will start to catch on that look at these people. All they want to do is work and have a purpose and feel accomplished. And they're loyal, they're dedicated, they're not going to call out sick. You know what I'm saying? No. They just want to work.
Yeah. Just like everyone. They just want to be treated like everyone else.
That's right.
I really love that you focus on the word ability. Yes. Because I feel like so many people focus on disability, but it's not.
No, we are special ability bakers.
Yes. It's just a different type of ability. I really can you tell me what you guys are thinking of next, or are you?
I don't want to say, but I will tell you it has nothing to do with food.
Completely different.
Yeah.
And are you going to launch that too?
Yep.
You are amazing.
Thank you.
It's really impressive what you got going on right now. Like you are is your insurance full-time?
Yeah.
Full-time health coach, running this bakery, mom to two. And now thinking about this next venture, and it's going to be almost like a branding, like ability type thing. This is really cool. This is really awesome. I mean, it would be really cool to spread throughout Bucks County that then when you see the word ability, you are knowing what's going on.
Right. Exactly.
Oh my God.
So I mean, I'm not special. Anybody, like any mom would do this for their children. My children are differently abled. I just, if I don't know. And I grew up, my son is the first one diagnosed in my family with Fragile X syndrome, but it turns out that my brother and my sister are also affected by it. So I kind of grew up as a sibling to those with special needs. And so I kind of feel like it's always been part of my life. I don't know what it's like to have a typical sibling. I don't know what it's like to have a typical child. So you pull your energy and you focus on what you can control. So my job is to make sure that these two young men and their peers have their best lives, the best life possible. And I'm willing to do whatever I can do to help that.
And you said, any mom would do this for their kid. I think any mom would want to do this for their kid, but I think you have something about you, especially your drive and your abilities, that you can do it, and you seem like you're succeeding at it. And I don't think that's within everyone, as much as everyone would want to do it. You just seem to have the abilities to do it and to kind of do it well. I mean, like you do.
I have failed. I have tried a lot of different things in my life. I don't want to say I failed at a lot, but like my life has not been easy. So I just maybe got up one more time than the next person. I don't know. I don't know what it is.
You have to fail to learn how to do it.
That's exactly right.
So, I mean,
you have to learn how to do hard things.
You do. And like you're doing hard things. And running a bakery is hard. I've heard a lot of,
but listen, I can't take all the credit for it. I have a network of moms that are fierce, that, they're doing this for their children too. They love it. They help me. They understand the 30,000 jobs I have, and they know that I can't be there during like 9 to 5 on a Monday. So I go in the morning, I do my thing. Somebody comes in, they relieve me. Like without them, there would be no Bakeability.
I had another mother on the show before, and she runs her own karate studio, and she got into karate because her child was being bullied. So they were trying to find a way just to help her, and they got her into karate. And then the woman, Andrea, she was on the show. She just started to like karate, and she started to take class, and then they had her open up a business. And so she runs her own her own karate studio now, and she's juggling a million things too. And we were talking, I was like, moms are fierce. Moms need to be running the show everywhere, because what you can multitask and do, it's just unbelievable, and do well. It's not like it's kind of like half-assing things. You are actually crushing, it sounds like, everything you're doing.
I've had a lot of practice too. And I have a mom who's fierce, who taught me that, I watched her, and I know that I could do more than 2 or 3 things at one time. And I don't know. I also never thought like I had a choice.
Yeah.
So
you do it.
Yeah.
You got to do it. Talk to me about this mom group. They sound very supportive and lovely.
They're very supportive. And it's so funny because our kids are very different from each other. Like who has daughters, who has sons, who's 18, who's 24. Like we're not necessarily the people you choose to be your friends, but we find ourselves in this world, and we all have the same concerns about what's going to happen to our children when we're not here, and what's their adulthood going to look like, and how can we band together and make it better for them. And they're different from me. Like who's the creative one, who can organize and do inventory and bookkeeping, and like who can decorate a cookie better than anybody. Like they're all different, and they have some skills that I don't. So I rely very heavily on them. And like I said before, Bakeability would be nothing without them.
That's just so great. And I think it's really awesome that everyone can come together. And you probably weren't friends before the group. And who knows, you would be friends outside of this if your life were different. But we'll have that like kind of common thread to support each other. Yep. And it's really nice that it exists, that there's a mom group out there that exists for.
Yeah. And we have some dads too that are pretty heavily involved. I don't want it to sound like
it's a parent group.
It's a parent group. Yes.
Mom heavy.
Yes. Mom heavy. Exactly.
So are a lot of the moms involved in the bakery?
Yeah.
Are the parents involved in the bakery?
Yep. Well, I have some core moms who help me like doing the physical baking and things like that. But then of my 17 employees, like all of their parents come with them for the shift. So they're all involved.
That's awesome.
So, yeah.
And ability. I'm just going to start calling you guys Ability because I know more is coming. I know more ability is coming.
Yes, more ability.
And you guys are in the Central Bucks area, which is I'm more of the Lower Bucks area where I live, but your plan is to kind of expand and have the name known throughout Bucks County.
Yep.
About Ability and what you guys are doing. Essentially your mission.
Yep.
It's just so fantastic because I can't repeat it enough. I've never heard of anything like this. And I was in Philly for 10 years. So you would think somewhere in the city might have
Right.
something. No, I've never heard about anything like this. And I just
Yeah.
think it's really awesome and very much needed.
Yeah.
Very
Thank
much
you.
needed. Do your sons enjoy it?
They do. They'll tell you they don't. Hard, it's hard. It's hard to get up on the Saturday morning when you don't have to go to school, and but they love it. They love it. They both love to greet the customers when they come in, and they're both very savvy, like on the point of sale system. But they've also both learned to bake in the last 6 months and do things like that and know how things have to go. Like, what's a softened butter mean? Like, what is it?
Yeah.
It's not melted butter that's so hot you can't even touch it, and it's not too hard that it can't. Like, they're learning so much.
I'll tell you, a lot of neurotypical people do not know softened butter.
I know.
So, that's just like, they're actually ahead of the curve on that.
I had to learn too.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a reason. You follow the recipe for a reason. Because if you put the eggs in before the eggs are called for, you're going to have a frittata in your pound cake.
Or if that butter's too hot, you're going to cook the eggs. Like,
exactly right.
I got to tell you, there's no way my brother, who's neurotypical, would know what softened butter is to bake. So like, they're definitely ahead of the curve on that one. Yeah. What about all the other employees? Do they see it? Like, are they enjoying it? Or is it like, I got to go to work today?
They love it. One of my core moms, back when we started, said, she couldn't even get the words out. She was like, when my son when I showed him his bank account online, I said, look, see that? That's what you did. Yeah. That money that you got paid is what you did for working in bakeability. And she's like, and he's nonverbal. His grin from ear to ear, like that feeling, that knowing that you did a job, you did it well, and you got paid. Like, here's your reward. Here's what happens when you work hard.
Yeah, it's that sense of like accomplishment. Like,
that's why we're there
doing it. That's awesome. I'm so like, I just love it. I have all the feels right now. I just love that it's happening.
You will let me know when you come in. So I want to make sure that I'm there so I can meet you.
Absolutely. I was actually thinking about it because I was going to stop by the other day, but I was like, you know what? I need to tell her I'm coming because I don't just want to show up and then not meet her. I want to actually be there and meet some of the employees and see everyone. And it's just, I don't know. I can't say enough how impressed I am by you and what you're doing. And I hope really good things ongoing for Ability. And I mean, I'm going to do whatever I can from this podcast to actually get that out there and let people know, because it's really great. It's really, I have two sisters who are speech pathologists. So they have both very heavily worked with kids with autism and whatnot. So I actually think that's how I found this. I think my sister sent me your bakery. She used to live in Doylestown.
Okay.
So she keeps up to date with all that stuff. And she was just like, this is amazing. And I was looking at it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Like, this is so great. But they have, it's very close to their heart working with kids who are not neurotypical.
Yeah.
So, it's just something I always hear stories about them, and they're like such sweet clients that they tell me about. And it's really nice that you're offering this and helping kids learn life skills.
Yep.
I mean, baking's a life skill. That is,
of course. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Reading a recipe, preparing it, like measuring, like all
following
skills,
the instructions. Yeah. And then dealing with daily interactions with customers who may not be that nice. So it's not like,
we get people that can't read the room.
Oh yeah. I'm sure I'm sure, it's nice to get, you're not going to get treated with, gloves all the time. It's gonna be some tough people walking in there. So to actually just get that social interaction, just like on a normal day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Everybody who walks in, we ask them if they've been there before. And if they say, no, this is my first time, then we use that as a moment to say like, oh, this is my son, Matthew. He works here. We started this bakery, a bunch of moms, because we all have children like Matthew, and Matthew works here, and Matthew does the baking, and Matthew's going to ring you up, and Matthew's going to serve you. And so that way people understand, because if you looked at Matthew, you wouldn't necessarily know.
Right. Right. And it should be honestly the way, I mean, everyone should be treating each other with kindness.
Right. Well,
we should be doing that, but it is true that a lot of times people, because you don't look different, are just are going to like assume things and be nasty and
Exactly.
just kind of the world we live in.
Exactly. We're going to change them.
I was going to say, you are
time.
changing it. You are changing it. I love it. And you're doing such a good job for your sons. You're just such a great mom.
Thank you.
Oh. So I know you can't tell us what's coming next, but everyone needs to
But I will keep you posted. How about
Please.
that?
I'm going to
give you a scoop when it gets closer.
Absolutely. We'll get you back on the show so you can talk about us, tell us what to expect, and see what's coming with ability and what's we expect in the future. So tell me a few more things about the bakery. I want to know what is the best thing to try when you go into that bakery?
There's two things.
Okay.
The first thing is we make a very special marble brownie. So it's not just a brownie, but it's marble. So it has like a vanilla cream cheese swirl in there. Ooh. And then it's topped with a chocolate buttercream. It's big. So if you buy one, it can last you all week. Like if you cut it into little pieces and just need a little something.
That is a great marketing tactic to say, here's your sweet for the week. Come buy it.
The second thing is something called a magic ability bar. And that is, again, it's a square like the brownie. It's the same size as the brownie. It is a graham cracker crust. And then it has a sweet, creamy center. And it's topped with chocolate chips, coconut, and walnuts.
How did you come up with that one? How did that become your signature?
So both the brownie, the marble brownie, and the magic ability bar came from one of my moms, whose daughter works in my bakery, who said these recipes have been in her family for decades. I'd never heard of a magic bar before. I never had one before. And it is delicious.
So I have to go in and get one of these.
Yeah. And the brownie, I would buy the box mix for my son who thought who I was when I would make him fresh brownies. This is a whole other level of brownie. This is something completely different.
This is made from scratch. Yeah. That's so, and it's really nice knowing the backstory to know that this is a recipe that's actually been passed down for generations, to know that like, that's what you're eating. Like, that's really sweet. That's what I really like about your bakery. It has that like personal loving touch to it. Yep. It's not going to be, the most perfect cookie you've ever seen in the world.
No. Our cookies, they all weigh the same, but they are one's flatter, one's puffier. I mean, it's real. It's real. Yeah. But they taste the same, and that's what matters, right? What
do you love most about working in the bakery?
I love the look on these employees' faces at the end of their shift. When they clock in, they clock out, they get their tips, they go home. They're so happy. They're so happy. It's a good day's work.
Yeah. Yeah. And they deserve it. I mean, it's something that's not going to be offered to them a lot of places in this world, but it's nice that you've created this space for those employees to go to feel accomplished and get some work done. And
I love it. I'm so happy for them.
It's great. It's an amazing thing you're doing. Even if that was all you were doing, and I know that's not all you're doing, but even if that was all you were doing, it's such an amazing thing to be doing. So there's one question I always ask of everyone, and I want to ask it before we wrap up here. What brings you joy? And it doesn't have to be within the bakery. It's just about you personally.
What brings me joy? Oh, my family brings me joy, because I didn't picture my life to be this way. And it's hard a lot of the times, but I have learned that I don't want to be cliche. I'm not going to say everything happens for a reason, but I found something within myself to say, this is my life. I'm going to make the most of it. And I'm going to appreciate and be grateful for everything I have. And that brings me joy, because I'm lucky, because I appreciate what I have.
That's great. It's like that grateful heart saying, like, you are that. You're that living embodiment of a grateful.
I wasn't always. I think some of it comes with age. Some of it comes with living life. Some of it comes with hardship. But for people who can get there, like myself, at whatever age that is, I feel like that's fortunate.
Yeah. To actually take whatever hardship you went through and to make it and to turn into the good aspects of your life. Look what you're doing now.
It made me stronger.
You are changing kids' worlds. Like, it's amazing. It's unbelievable. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. You're an inspiration. I think you're fantastic. I think you're a badass babe. And you're just wonderful. I can't wait to come in and meet you at this bakery.
I can't wait to meet you in person.
I know. I'm so excited. I hope the best things for Bakeability. Tell us a little bit about how to find you guys. So anyone listening to the podcast that knows where to go, Instagram, on a map, where's everyone?
Yep. Our website is www.bakeabilities.com. Our Instagram is Bakeability Bakery. Our Facebook is also Bakeability Bakery. We are located in the Buckingham Green Shopping Center. That's at 4950 York Road in Buckingham. We are open Wednesdays through Sundays.
Okay. All right. And just like, is it like an 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. type thing?
Wednesday through Friday, 9 to 4.
Okay.
Sundays, Saturday and Sunday, 9 to 3.
Okay. And is it all baked goods? Is there like a coffee setup, or is it all just baked goods?
Well, you know what? We did coffee initially, and it just was too much because there's a deli in our shopping center. But the deli is not open on weekends now. So I'm thinking we're going to go back to coffee on weekends. We will have, but it's mostly just takeout, ready to eat pastries, cookies,
delicious
scones,
pastries,
deliciousness. Yes.
Love it. It's so great. Well, thank you.
Yes.
Oh, please go ahead. What were we going to say?
I just want to say we have, if you'll see on our website, we're going to have party trays available for the upcoming holidays. We have a Halloween box going on right now. So yeah, best to tune in to our social media because that's where everything is current.
And you know what I should ask? Do you take custom? Like if I wanted like 36 pumpkin cookies, could someone call in and be like, can I get this custom order? Besides cake, we know we don't do cakes.
Absolutely. If you want to order something that we have on our menu, we ask for like a week or two's notice. If you want something like 3 or 4 dozen cookies, because they have to be, the kids have to dip them and everything, and they have to dry and everything. Right. So yeah, we just need a little bit of notice, but yeah, we'd love to.
That's great. Well, Paula, thank you so much for being on this today. I can't wait to promote this, and best of luck with everything. We'll have you back on here when the next venture comes up. All right.
Excellent. Sounds good.
All right. Thanks, Paula.
Thank you. Bye.